Hello there, morons. It's Victor JNEWS, the king of the morons, and this is a JNEWS. I will tell you very briefly summarize a story that's happening. That's all the rage here in Japan. That that everyone's talking about right now. A current news story, and then I'll give you a little Japanese. Couple things before we get started. First of all, check out my T-shirt. If you know the movie Office Space, you might recognize this T-shirt, which says, "I believe that you have my stapler." And you would think that walking around in Japan, no one would understand this T-shirt. It's a very culturally specific, T-shirt. But I was surprised when I walked into a convenience store this morning, and the Japanese clerk looked at my T-shirt and started laughing. And she said, that's funny. That's funny. I said, "Do you know this movie?" And she said, yeah, it's a great movie. So I was surprised because I don't think it's that popular movie in Japan. Not the cult following. It doesn't have the cult following that it does back in the West. But anyway, if you haven't seen Office Space, it's a great movie. Today's story is all the rage on Twitter. And it's hilarious. It's about a 21-year-old young man who was arrested for keeping dangerous reptiles in his house. And one of the strangest things about Japan, if you've seen my videos in the past, you've seen that I often visit pet stores, and in some of the videos you'll see that I come across some of the strangest. You've seen some of the strangest animals in the pet stores. They sell, of course, the typical, the dogs, the cats, the fish, the occasional tortoise, but they also sell turtles, frogs, rabbits, ferrets, monkeys, bats. Very exotic birds, wallabies, kangaroos, maybe not kangaroos, but wallabies are kind of kangaroo-looking things. Pretty much everything but koalas and pandas. You can find the strangest animals. I've even seen like a sheep for sale, and which is really strange. And it wasn't a sex shop either; it was just a pet store. So they sell very strange animals in pet stores here. Someone told me that they don't have pet stores in Poland, which seems amazing to me, but. Anyway, so you would think, of course they have monkeys and all that other stuff. You would think, I saw a kookaburra. Is that the kookaburra? It's a kind of a, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's a kind of a weird Australian bird. But anyway, kookaburra, that's it. So I've seen really bizarre animals in Japanese zoos, and you would think anything's allowed, right? But there's something called the tokutei dobutsu, or a kind of animal called tokutei animal. Tokutei dobutsu means animal, and they're basically animals designated by Japanese law as being too dangerous to keep. So you need special permission to keep them, otherwise you're not allowed to keep them. And this 21-year-old guy was arrested for keeping dangerous snakes, and they were so large that they could swallow a man. And it's basically what the headline here says, and I'll break that down in a minute. Well, let me make it bigger so those of you can see. It says, big enough to swallow, huge snakes, big enough to swallow a human, kept without permission. 21-year-old man arrested, and the reason, this is the kicker, the reason he kept the snakes is he thought their faces were cute.顔がkawaikatta, which I thought was hilarious. And one thing you might remember if you've seen Tomoko and Kazuko's videos, I made a video where they were competing to have the smallest face, and they actually sell rollers in Japan to make your face really small. In fact, I should have brought one up. Oh, well, it's on her channel. I'll just link to the channel in the description. Or the product, but anyway, so this guy thought the snake's faces were so cute, so I wanted to keep one. He didn't have just one, however. He had four big boa constrictors, then something called, we'll have to look this up, it's an amimeni kind of hebi, or hebi is of course snake, and another one was a birumani, maybe that's Burmese, birumani hebi. Another snake, and he was keeping them in an unlocked like plastic case, which is really bad for the snake because it's just a big plastic box that you could put a lock on it, but this one was unlocked. And if you've ever kept snakes, and I've kept snakes, because I guess you guys don't know this about me, but I'm a bit of or I was a bit of an amateur herpetologist. I love snakes, and at one time, and when I was growing up, I had like 50 turtles, I had a pet iguana, about 1.5 meters long, and I had snakes that I would sneak and keep in the garage because my mom would never let me keep a snake in the house. She was crazy, hates snakes. But I think they're cool. I think reptiles are very cool. Never was into dinosaurs very much, but I loved reptiles. Anyway, a bit of a herpetologist, amateur level. Anyway, how big was the snake? The biggest one, let me see, one of them was 3.5 meters long and weighed 35 kilograms, which, you know, I think I could take a snake that big. Pretty big snakes. Anyway, these are dangerous, and guy was arrested. And there's a law that says you can't keep these snakes, as I just mentioned. But he, for some reason, he said, I know about the law, but I didn't think it applied to me. So that's basically the story. I don't know what kind of jail time, if any, you get for this. But we're going to go through the vocabulary now. If you do like the videos, I'm trying to put out a lot of these newsflash type videos, JNEWS videos. So please support by commenting and give me a thumbs up and tell me what you know. What was that? Tell me what you know. I think that's Facebook. Tell me what you think about snakes. Do you think they're gross? Because they're not gross. They're cute. I wouldn't say their faces are cute, but they're pretty cool looking. Anyway, let's get to the article. Here's another thing I discovered. I did not know this, but the Huffington Post, in association with the Asahi Shimbun, has, I guess, an existence, you know, in Japan, and it's in Japanese. Look at this. So this is the Huffington Post's and the Asahi Shimbun's Huffington Post page. There you go. And I'll leave a link to that in the description. And I'm sorry for that. I don't know what the hell that is. Someone's dinging me on Facebook. Let's go to the article. And if you're not interested in Japanese, you can click off here or go on to another channel. I got tons of these videos. Man, I produce more work than anybody, right? So go check this out. Okay. Here's the Japanese lesson. Okay, let me read the title for you. 人間丸呑みする巨大ヘビを無許可で飼育21歳男を逮捕顔がかわいかった So I'll do it one more time. A huge snake's able to swallow a human, kept or raised or bred without permission. 21-year-old man arrested. He says their faces were cute. Okay, so let's go through the vocabulary real quick. Ningen, of course, is human. Whoops, not human. Humana. Let me write that. Let me spell that correctly. I spelled it wrong again. Human. Ningen, human. Very old joke, true story. I often tell high school students when I'm starting out with a new class is about I don't know if it's my story. I don't remember who did this, but there's a story of a foreigner. Could have been me, who was annoyed on a train because everyone was talking about him. It's a really old story, and he stands up on the train. He says, "Stop talking about me," and then he says in Japanese, "Watashi wa ninjin desu," which means I am a carrot. Ninjin, not ningen. So I always tell my students, don't worry. And because he never made the same mistake again, so you can learn from that mistake. I am a carrot. So we are all carrots. We all make mistakes. Ningen, of course, is human. Here's an interesting word here. Marunomi suru. Now, nomi in tradition. Those of you who study Japanese, you know the word nomu as in drink. Whoops. Let's do that in kanji. Nomu, which is this kanji, right? Which means to drink. However, when you're swallowing something whole, and it can be used for sake as well, but not waten. It can be used for sake. No, it's not used for sake. It's used for things and liquids, but not sake. Sake they would use this one over here. Pretty sure I got that right. Anyway, maru means completely, like completely do something. So the whole thing. So marunomi suru is to swallowing. You know, what's with my spelling today? Swallowing whole. So do you swallow whole? Marunomi suru? I don't know. She swallowed it whole. He swallowed it whole. You know, either way. These snakes are capable of swallowing humans whole. Is the name of the story. Where's your mind going? Stop thinking about that. Okay. Then we have the word kyodai, which is usually a na keoshi, which means the adjective would be, you would add a na here, like kyodai na. And of course that means giant, enormous, or one of my favorites, ginormous. I think there's another word, there's you can take two words and put them together and make a funny word like redonkulous or ginormous. I think there's one more, but I can't think of it. If you can think of it, please put it in the description. So anyway, large. And of course we have hebi. And as I told you in the last video, when we talked about the caterpillars are kemushi. I think there was another one, ibomushi. Yeah, when they used katakana. And in this case, they use katakana again, which is hebi. But there is a kanji, of course. This is the kanji for hebi, which is snake. But like I said before, we often use katakana because it kind of sticks out, stands out. The o indicates what the verb will take an action, will act on. So the o usually follows the subject and precedes the verb. So it's between the subject and the verb, right? So in English it would be like eat, snake, eat, human. But in Japanese it would be human eaten by snake. But it wouldn't actually be eaten. It would be human eaten, eat, human eat. So, or how about that? Snake, human, eat. That's how it would be. So in English, human, snake, human, eat. Yes, and in English it would be snake, eat, human. So you get it. The verb is not in the same position. It's in the middle. Oh no, it's at the end. Yeah, it's at the end. Snake, human, eat. Yes, the verb comes at the end. Okay, anyway, the next word is mukyoka. Mu is nothing, right? Kyo is permission, and ka is possibility. So without permission, mukyoka. And then we have shiiku, which is to raise or breed, raising or breeding, shiiku. And nijuuissai is 21-year-olds. Sai, when you have, there's two kanjis for sai. This is a more complicated one, nijuuissai, 21-year-old man. And then of course we have the word man, which is otoko. And he was arrested. Notice it's taiho, not taiho, which I goofed up a couple lessons back. Mistyped there. And he says the reason he kept the snakes are because the face was cute. Kao ga kawaikatta. And the other thing to remember, which is different about in Japanese than English, is adjectives will be in the past tense in English. So instead of kawaii, which is the adjective for cute, and you probably know this word if you know anything about Japanese, kawaii, oh, it's cute. And actually my wife taught my son to do the kawaii face. He'll do two faces. He'll do angry face, and then he'll do kawaii face, which you'll probably suffer in a video. I'm sure I'll show you soon enough. But in this case, he said the faces were cute, past tense, so he used kawaikatta. And in the article they use the hiragana, though of course you can use the kanji. And a little extra vocabulary here is the word for reptiles is hachuurui. Oh, I did that wrong. Hachuurui, which is reptiles. And this type of animal, this dangerous animal, is called a tokutei dobutsu. So animals designated as dangerous by Japanese law. That's your lesson for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you got something out of this. If you are wondering how to study, grab yourself a notebook, take notes. That is the best way. You can have a notebook just for JNEWS and just go through all my old lessons and watch them. If you're looking for more basic Japanese lessons, remember we've got it's kind of a dead channel right now. I hope to bring it back to life someday, called Japanese for Morons, and check that out. There's a link in the description to that as well. And that's all I got for you today, but I will be back soon with more videos. Probably the next one will be some videos coming from my trip to Tokyo, so look out for those. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.